Hey everybody, welcome back to When Words Fail Music Speaks, where we fight depression with the power of music. I'm your handicapped host, James Cox, and I got another interview today. It's probably one of my I've always wanted to interview this gentleman right now. His name is Brian Tatler of Diamond Head and Saxon. So, Brian, how are you doing, sir?
I'm doing well, thank you. I mean, it's quite hot over here, but I'm doing okay. I'm probably grateful for a bit of heat in England because it can be grey and cold. But
Yeah.
yeah, I'm doing well, thank you.
Yeah, yeah. England is a place I've always wanted to visit because I live in here in South Carolina, and it is
Right?
hot down here too. So
Yeah,
I'm with you on hot stuff.
yeah.
So
I mean, America's hotter than the UK, but it's hot here at the moment.
yeah,
It's a bit of a heat wave.
yeah, nice, nice, nice. Well, thank you so much for coming on. This has been a
No
true
worries.
dream for me to do this with you. Um, My first question is, let's get your musical evolution, get that started. So given your potential role in the new wave of British heavy metal, since you're one of the main bands that came from it, um, how do you perceive the evolution of metal now since the 80s?
Yeah. Well, it's changed a lot, hasn't it? It's kept evolving for like 50 years or however long it is. If
Right.
if uh, if I say Black Sabbath at the start for me in 1970, so here we are. It's sort of 55 years later.
Yeah.
Um, it's almost unrecognizable.
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah.
the detuned guitars, the double kicks, the growly vocals. I mean, I had no clue that the heavy metal would survive this long
Yeah.
or go through so many changes or become so big worldwide. It's just absolutely a massive tribe of devoted followers, isn't it? Once you get into rock, it never leaves you. You
No.
you stay
No.
with it
Yeah.
to the grave.
Yeah.
I am a diehard heavy metal fan, and
Right.
I always will be.
Nice. Me too. Well, my first genre is always going to be country because that's where I was born and raised from, my parents. And then metal and rock is almost simultaneously the same. But
Yeah,
for me, metal is like up an inch above rock, because of Metallica. And Metallica's
right,
from
right.
y'all guys, 'cause the Am I Evil and Helpless and all those great other songs. So yeah, I think metal is here to stay. I don't think it's going anywhere as much as people want it to go away. And I mean, you can't get rid of metal right now. So that's a great thing.
No, it's huge, and a lot of these festivals, like Hellfest or
Yeah.
Wacken,
Wow, fucking yeah.
that download, they're just massive, aren't they? It'll be like 50, 60, 70,000 people there.
Yeah.
Uh, People just love it. It's a lifestyle, isn't it?
It
It's a
is.
total lifestyle. It's not something you dip into.
Yeah.
You're just a metalhead, aren't you?
Right. Right.
It's all you listen to. And tattoos and long hair and denims and leathers and stuff. And it's all just a thing, isn't it? A clothing, a style, a way of life.
Yeah, yeah. Well, honestly, it's my mom's fault because, and of course, I'm sure this is all true for everybody listening. Is my mom got me the cassette tape back when cassette tape ruled.
Mhm.
She got me cassette tape of the Black Album by the Metallica. So honestly, it's my mom's fault because she got it for me. We can always say that. But
Yeah.
um. But I remember when I was like 16, 17, looking for your album, Lightning to the Nations.
Mhm.
And then I saw a Back to the Beginning compilation CD. Yeah. And
That's
it took
right.
me forever and a day to find that album. I had to order it through some kind of like magazine or something. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, because I look for that everywhere. And that thing is like, it's like a masterpiece.
Yeah. All right. Thank you. I remember Behold the Beginning or whatever it's
Yeah.
called. I
Yeah.
think there was a version on Metal Blade, maybe a
Yeah.
version on Metal Masters as well. So Yeah, I mean, our first album, Lightning to the Nations, we couldn't get a record deal for that. It's really strange how it's gone. That when we started, we came out just about the right time for the new wave of British heavy metal in 1979, and then we did our first album in 1980, and we shopped it around, and a lot of the labels just didn't want to sign the band for one reason or another, or perhaps our management were expecting too much from the label, and so we just sold copies mail order.
Yes, that's what I did, mail order.
But it's kind of become this classic album, and these 7 songs on it, and Metallica have covered 4 of those songs.
Yeah.
So it's become this huge record for us. But at the time, nobody was really that interested, and no, there was no magazines, there was no Kerrang, no Metal Hammer, no, nothing. And so the only review I ever saw for Lightning to the Nations was in Sounds, and it was by Paul Suter, and he got 3.5 stars out of 5. And it's amazing how it's kind of gone on to have a life over these past 45 years, and it's still, people still talk about it as this great album. I've seen it in lists of, top 10 heavy metal albums and all, and I've seen Lightning to the Nations in this list, alongside albums that did 20 million copies either side of it, and as we did 2,000 copies. It's crazy.
It's amazing.
Who knew?
One thing I wanted to, this is probably my last question about Lightning to the Nations, because I know you get tired of answering questions about that album. But I imagine you are a big fan, or your whole band was a big fan of the Beatles, because I looked up your album now, and I saw Lightning to the Nations, the White Album. Were you inspired about the Beatles to, I mean,
I'm a big fan. I don't know if the Beatles influenced Diamond Head particularly.
No,
because I'm a fan.
I wasn't asking about that because
the white cover, you mean?
Your new album is called The White Album, Lightning to the Nations.
Yeah. Oh, no. The reason it was called The White Album is because it had no cover. It was a piece of white card with even the disc didn't have any information. It was almost like a test pressing. So we had 1,000 copies pressed up, sold the mail order, but it was no nod to the Beatles. It was just because it came in a pure white sleeve. And of course, the Beatles' White Album is called The Beatles, isn't it?
Oh,
but everybody calls it The White Album, in the same way that the Metallica album is called Metallica, but everybody calls it The Black Album.
Yeah, I totally forgot about that. Yes, because it's so redundant. You hear the White Album, the White Album. You honestly think it's the White Album, but it's called the Beatles. You're right.
It was called that, and it wasn't.
Right. Yeah. But everybody else calls it that, so I guess it's okay.
Yeah, my brother was in the Beatles fan club, and he had one of the original copies of that when it came out, and they were all individually numbered. And I think they might have done 50,000 on the first run, and he got one of those. But I mean, we lost it over the years. But I remember him having it, and we thought it was pretty cool.
Nice. Well, according to your Apple Music, and I'm sorry if I'm got it wrong, but you've done 7 studio albums to date.
What's that, Diamond Head?
Yes, that Diamond Head. Is that not
true? No, 8.
8. Okay, perfect. They are. So you were the main writer in the band, right? So we're going to talk about your songwriting for a minute, if you don't mind. So your songwriting has shaped the identity of Diamond Head, obviously. Could you describe the creative process behind it after crafting the song, like The Prince, Am I Evil, and how it encapsulates the themes and emotions you aim to convey in it?
Okay, so it normally starts with the riff, the guitar riff. So either I would have come up with the riff, or sometimes Sean comes up with a riff, and away we go. If it sort of inspires everybody and we can get behind it, off we go. Then it's a case of building the track, right? It might need a chorus, it might need a middle section, might need an intro, and you just add things to it until it feels right. And then your singer we'll try start jamming ideas on top of it. I can sing on that bit there, and I want this bit. So that's sort of how it started with Diamond Head, and that's pretty much how it still works today. Now I'm writing with Saxon.
Saxon, yeah.
I'm still preparing music, and then passing it on to Biff, the singer, and he either likes it or doesn't like it, and then it either inspires him to think, oh, I could sing about this or that. And I think he already sort of has titles and some lyric ideas that he's looking for a vehicle for. So when the right piece of music comes along, he gets excited, and then we can move forward on the song and try and get it finished.
Yeah. Speaking of the Saxon, you're probably the best guitarist they had. Well, I don't want to say the best, but you're one of the greats in any band you go through. Yeah. And my friend George, he is interested in because we've all seen band members come and go whenever they join like new bands, old bands, But my friend George wants to know: Are you staying? Ron Haggerty, I'm sorry. Are you staying with Saxon through the perceived future, or do you plan to go two different routes?
No,
Okay.
no. I mean, I will stick this out. I'm really enjoying it, and who knows how long Saxon's got.
Yeah.
I mean, Biff is the driving force,
Yeah.
and as long as he keeps going, everybody else will keep going. We just here for Biff. I mean, I think everybody's got immense respect for the guy because he's taken this band from nothing and kept it going for almost 50 years, and that's just one hell of an achievement. And so we all just want it to continue, really. So I've got no plans to go anywhere.
Okay.
I'll just see it out. As long as I'm welcome in the group, I will keep going.
Yeah. So, I mean, we can expect many more albums of Saxon with you as a guitarist, right?
Yeah,
Because you
well,
did one so far, correct?
I've done one so far
Okay.
that came out January last year,
Yes.
and then the new one we started preparing material for the next one,
Nice. Yes.
and that's planned to come out end of next year. So
Right. Okay.
it'll probably have to be ready by the summer, June, July of next year, and then they go into production. Then they have to manufacture vinyl and
get all the good stuff.
That can take 3 or 4 months.
Oh yeah, because I'm pretty sure pressing vinyl's not an easy job,
Yeah.
Of course, they got machines to do it now,
I
but
think because there's such a resurgence in vinyl, the interest in vinyl, all the pressing plants are working all the time, and you have to book slots. So if you want your album to come out for a certain time, you have to book the slot, and when they can start pressing to get it ready in time for its release.
So my other friend George, now that was Ron Haggerty's voice. Okay. So Ron, you gotta wait till next year to get the new album, man. All right. So okay, yeah. So my friend George, he wants to know: Do you still keep in touch with Sean Harris? Because
Not really. We sort of do our own thing now.
Yeah, got it.
I've seen him a couple of times over the years. I bumped into him in Stourbridge, and we both did that 30th anniversary of Metallica in San Francisco. We went over and did that show where it was over 4 nights, and they had various guests get up, and Sean and I got up and did all 4 Metallica songs. No, all 4 Diamond Head songs that Metallica have covered.
Yes.
So that was great. That was really great. But now we don't seem to phone each other up anymore.
Okay.
We've just kind of moved on, I think. I've known him since I was 5.
Well, yeah.
And it's a shame in a way that we haven't stayed close friends, but life,
Life happens,
life happens. Yeah. You don't always stay friends with people for the 50 years, do you?
Well, sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. It's just
sometimes you do, sometimes you don't.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So you've been a band for as long as I can remember, because I'm 45. So you've probably been a band since the 70s. 80s,
76 Diamond Head for me.
76. Yes. Okay. So you've seen every band so far that's new and old, right? So when you recorded your albums, like say 2019, 2018, 2016, um, do you get inspirations for like brand new guitarists now? And how have those influences from those guitarists manifested in your music with Diamond Head?
I don't think it does particularly. I
Okay.
think because Diamond Head's got a style, we try to write in that style. Um, so I wouldn't want to take on too many modern influences because it would just seem like, we're chasing trends, we're chasing our tail type thing.
Yeah.
So I think Diamond Head has to stick to its style that was forged, in the 70s, probably trying to emulate the classic bands from the
Yeah.
70s. And the only thing that's probably changed is the personnel's changed a little bit, and the technology has changed a little bit. So you can get higher gain amps. You can, we detune to E flat rather than standard. Drums are a bit more, clicky these days with double pedals and things. So it's easy to record at home as well. People have Pro Tools rigs, don't they?
Yeah.
So you can make good quality demos in your house.
Right.
So those things have been influential, but I don't take on board. I mean, there's a lot of good guitarists around now, some incredible players that I really like. I really like Joe Bonamassa because I think he's basically a blues guy, but his technique is incredible, and I think he's almost cherry picked from a lot of the guitarists that I like.
Right.
There's some Paul Kossoff in there. There's some Jimmy Page in there. Some Clapton. There's some Eric Johnson, and he's managed to kind of almost steal the best bits and develop it into a beautiful style of his own that's a world beater. And so I love his playing. I think he's one of the best in the world.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, you just reminded me to ask you about sound quality through generations of tape and digital stuff. Now, I've been told, and it's true, that vinyl has the better sound, and of course, y'all recorded analog back then as opposed to
Yeah,
digitally now.
yeah.
What style do you prefer to record now? I mean, yes, digital is faster and easier, but do you think that back then analog has like better sound for those people who listen to, all this vinyl records and everything?
Not for me
Okay.
because I don't remember recording something and thinking it sounds so good because it's done on analog. It's done on
Right.
I think
Yeah.
okay, if you're Steely Dan or if you're Paul Simon or Pink Floyd, then they probably had time to use tape compression. I mean, the Led Zeppelin albums use
Right.
tape compression, but we would have to do things pretty quickly and cheaply. You see, I mean, the first album was recorded and mixed in a week, so we didn't have time to
In
sort
a
of,
week.
yeah,
Wow. Yeah.
you wouldn't have time to perfect, the
Yeah.
hi hat or something like that. But these days, I think digital recording is so the editing facilities is so amazing, and it's so much cheaper to make an album these days
Yeah.
that I'm all in favor of Pro Tools, and I don't think music's suffered really because of everybody's gone digital.
Right.
Um, so I just think that the ease with which you can mix something or change something right up to the mix. If you want to add a double chorus uh, during the mix, you can do it in a matter of seconds. And years ago, you'd have had to copy the tape and cut the tape, and it would have been a very expensive problem to even try it. So I didn't. I didn't like that kind of thing, changing things right up to the last minute. I would be in favour of leave it, just go with what we've got, because you could open up a can of worms. But now, as I say, you can do anything pretty much up to the last second. You can put things in tune, put things in time.
Right.
You can change the arrangement. It's incredible.
And it's through with one button. I mean, you don't have to go back and re-record it all, which is
No, you
perfectly.
don't have, no, you don't. You can even speed up the whole thing if you want to a degree. I mean, it does start to have I forget the word, but yeah, it's incredible what you can do on Pro Tools.
Yeah. Well, going back to what you said, you recorded the first album in 7 days, and that reminds me of a band called Trivium who recorded The Crusade within 6 days or something like that.
Right?
Um, and I don't think that they think that it's their best album. To you, well, I'm sure you went back and re-recorded it. But
Yeah.
back then, were you all rushed to recording in like a week?
Well, yeah, it was our first album, and
Yeah,
it was a 24-track studio, so we were aware that it was expensive,
yeah,
but we had to get it done. It had to be recorded and mixed in 7 days, and that was the end of it. So you couldn't have gone back and all that, because it's just too expensive. So, and even then, we did it as a sort of dodgy deal where we had a week in the studio and signed away 50% of our publishing.
yeah.
So that was a stupid move anyway. But I suppose it's worked out all right in the end. But yeah, it was pretty quick. We did the first single was done in a day, I think. Shoot Out the Lights and Helpless. I think we might have done it in a day, like record both tracks and then mix them on the evening, and that's your life. But loads of bands did that. We came from the punk rock period, in like 77. A lot of bands were making their own records and just going into little studios, doing them quickly. The first Def Leppard EP cost 500 quid, I think, and that sold out. So
Right.
they did all
Yeah. And it's a
They
great
got a
album
record.
too. Right. Yeah. Exactly. Yes, sir. Yes. Well, we got like 3 more questions, and then we'll let you go. But I do want to thank you for coming on again.
Okay.
So let's go way back in time, okay, to where little Brian is 14, 15, 16, okay? We're inside your room at your house, and we're looking around the room, okay? Are we seeing any musical posters? And if we are, who are the posters of?
Yeah, I did have posters. I had a Black Sabbath poster. I had a Led Zeppelin poster. I had Michael Schenker poster. Gentle Giant. I had 2 Gentle Giant posters because I'd been to see Gentle Giant at Birmingham Town Hall on the freehand tour and the interview tour. So, and they had posters for sale, probably like £1. So I bought those. I can't remember any others.
No, okay. Well, that's fine.
Yeah, I
It was
think I painted my ceiling purple.
yes, awesome, purple, yeah.
Well, we used to rehearse in my bedroom. I was at my parents' house, and once a week, I think we would rehearse, and we had a little drum kit and at first I had my brother's guitar, and we'd make a start, learning how to write songs on a cassette recorder.
Yeah, I mean, because that's what you had back then. You didn't have all these fancy new gadgets and gadgets now.
Nothing,
So
just a cassette recorder. That's all we had.
I guess it was all trial and error, right? Trial and error. Like that.
Yeah.
Now we can hit the button and it's fixed, So all right. So second question out of 3 is okay. So we're gonna do like a Mount Rushmore of your favorite bands. Let's do your favorite bands now as opposed to then. You got 4 of them. Who are your 4 favorite bands now?
4 favorite bands now compared to 4 favorite bands then.
Yes,
I would say they're pretty similar because I'm just such a 70s guy. Okay. So my favorite band of all time is still Led Zeppelin, and I'm always they're always going to be my favorite band. Yeah. Then I would maybe go the Beatles. Then possibly AC/DC.
I love AC/DC. They're
And
great.
after that,
You got one more.
yeah, I'm not sure. Black Sabbath,
Black
possibly.
Sabbath. Okay.
But I'd say Black Sabbath. I mean, I'm a big fan of Steely Dan,
Yeah.
uh, but I'll go with Black Sabbath.
Nice. I mean, you can't go wrong with those four. Those four are
No.
like the prominent, masters of what they do. Yeah. So, okay. So this last question is going to be our hardest question for you today. Okay. Is there one song, album, or artist that you can listen to right now, but you can't tell me or anybody else how it makes you feel deep inside your soul?
What's that? You're going to have to say that again. Sorry, I didn't understand the question.
Okay, so one artist, album, or song that you
Yeah.
can listen to right now, but you can't tell me how it makes you feel deep inside your soul. Like when you hear the song or album or artist, you just like lose all emotion and just you can't explain how it makes you feel deep inside your soul.
Okay.
Yeah,
Um,
who would
I
that be?
think one of my favourite artists is Led Zeppelin. My
No,
favourite album is Physical Graffiti,
great.
and my
Yes.
favourite song is Kashmir. So
Yeah.
that's it for me. I
Yeah.
mean, Dark Side of the Moon is up there. You know, if I wanted to play a whole album from start to
Mm,
finish, take some beating. Dark Side of the Moon does,
right.
but yeah, but Physical Graffiti is my favourite album. So
That's probably a lot of people's favorite album. Yeah.
it's
So.
brilliant, and there's so many great songs on there.
Oh yeah, tons of great songs. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, we do want to thank you for coming on the show, and we beg you to come back anytime you want to. You're always welcome back here.
Thank you.
I look at you as a brother now, so it's going to be good times. But I do want to thank you very much for taking the time out of your day to do this for us, and
All right,
coming on the show. So yeah,
no
so
problem. Thanks for
yes, sir.
having me.
Yes, sir. And
All
with
right.
that said, everybody, thank you for listening, and always remember when words fail, music speaks. Bye, guys.